Hi, welcome back, guys, to another episode of Driven by Christ Auto. Our Driven by Christ Automotive. Wow, I'm like I've been having brain farts like crazy here lately, but I'm just really excited about the word that I have to share with y'all today. It's a Wednesday morning. This is the midday of the week. We're actually going to pull the drag car out today, and we are going to go. We're going to still check on our customer vehicle. If it looks like it's going to be a day, we're going to let the customer know that, it probably won't be until tomorrow until we get it done, because we are going to go run a 3-race championship today. Normally I try to do my midweek racing on a Wednesday. Then we got Friday, Saturday, and Sunday is the day of rest. We don't do nothing on Sundays. That I chose that to be my Sabbath day. But remember, guys, y'all may actually have to work on Sunday, so you can choose your Sabbath day to be any day of the week. Just dedicate it to the Lord and don't do what would be considered as work. If it is something that you enjoy to do, which other people may consider it as work, it don't matter. As long as you enjoy doing it, dedicate it to the Lord and keep the day holy, and that is your Sabbath day. That is from the word of our Lord. Alright, but today, this is a very powerful, just, hold on guys, let me open up this Red Bull, because I'm about to get wired, son. I'm really excited, because this is what has happened in my life. I remember I told you I wasted 20 something years of my life. And the message that I have for y'all today is the biggest movement that I've seen in my life. And I was blind to this stuff at first. I didn't see it, but it was always there. So, this is our word today from the Lord. Mighty Savior, your plan for our life is unfolding before us. Sometimes the road we are traveling seems blocked, or it opens up slowly and we must reduce our pace considerably. Then, when the time is right, the way before us suddenly opens, through no effort of our own. You present to us freely as a pure gift what we have been longing for and working for. We are astonished by the ease with which you operate in the world. Remember, guys, I told you if something was really hard and you're trying your hardest and it never works, and more than likely it's not your path. But if you pray for something and it's just working like clockwork, everything is happening just like it's supposed to, then more than likely, guys, that is part of God's plan. It always works. But anyways, and we love your power and glory. Oh yes we do, because if we didn't have that in our lives, we would be lost. Everything would be a struggle every day. And if you tell yourself, well, my life is a struggle every day, then right there is where you need to stop and pay attention to what you're doing and pray. Go into prayer and see what is the path that he wants you to go on. You'll figure it out. It may take some time. It took me a few years to figure it out, but I figured it out. Anyways, as we stand in your majestic nature, we become aware of how weak we are. But instead of being discouraged about our weakness, we want to view it as a stage on which your power and your glory perform most brilliantly in our lives. While we stay along the path you have prepared for us, we will depend on your strength to sustain us. Please help us to stay alert and to be on the lookout for miracles. Though miracles are not always visible to the naked eye, those who live by faith are able to see more clearly. Living by faith, not by sight, keeps us close to you and open to your awesome works. In your glorious name, Jesus, amen. This is the biggest movement that I want y'all to pay attention to, guys. This is your guidance system. Like, I love this. I like this. Absolutely moves in me every way, because I experience this stuff on the daily basis in my real life in every way I look. It is so amazing not to feel lost whenever you wake up every day. But even though you don't understand the Lord, with Jesus, you don't have to worry about it. Just follow him and he will pave the way. It's like you got this nice, pretty, smooth road you can go down, or you can take your road that's off through the woods, down the side of a mountain, which ultimately destroys your car. Which is the metaphor of your life. Stay on the right path, guys. It's easy. Life is so much easier like this. I cannot explain it. I don't have to worry about nothing no more. Trust in the Lord, spread his word, and he literally will take care of you. Now, I'm not saying you're just going to sit back and not do anything. It's going to require some efforts, but find efforts in a work that you like, that's something that you like doing, and dedicate it to the Lord, and it will flourish. Just like our wonderful automotive business does here. I dedicate this to the Lord every day. So let's go ahead and get this Wednesday started. We had to move the drag car to lockup because Jamie kept parking it in areas that, we didn't need it in. It kept getting in the way, so I had to go put it down at the lockup and go hide the keys. But I think we're gonna go get that car. I don't know. I still like looking at that. I'm still excited about building this race car because it is a rare car. It's a special edition, guys. That's something else I want to bring up. Barnyard finds is where you find special cars. This engine right here was like a poo-poo motor. It barely produced like 150 or 180 horsepower, I think. But this engine in its factory form, because it is a special edition OTS, it produces 363 horsepower stock. That's it, stock. And you can only add to that horsepower from there. So we're not going to actually swap the motor in this car. We're going to build on top of this 363 special built engine and see if we can't get like 700 horsepower out of this car. This thing is going to be so fast with 700 horsepower. And I did make the mistake, guys. It is an all-wheel drive. I don't know why I don't see that well, so I thought that was actually the exhaust pipe that went back. But this is an all-wheel drive, 363 horsepower starting before we even start modifying it. We're going to be working with 363 horsepower, so I'm very excited to start working on this car. But let's go ahead and see what we got going on with our customer today, and I'm hoping that it's going to be a 2-day event. Maybe, I don't know, you never know what the Lord's going to throw at you. Maybe something easy to do. But after lunch we are going to go race. I kind of want to go race before lunch, at least get 2 races in, and then get a customer, because we do need to build our money back up. We are falling below, and that's what we built a race car for. That way we can continue to bless people and make profits. So let's get our car here. Let's go ahead and do that. Parking, we are going to get, it's the Ecos Emperor. We are going to move it to the garage. Alright, so we moved it out here. I think we let Jamie go and go get the car. She's been begging me to drive it, so alright, so she's got it here now. It's a little bit dirty. She got it dirty on the way to here, so let's go ahead and get it cleaned up. I remember I said I wanted to see how long it would take to get really dirty. So far we've raced a 2-day weekend, and Jamie's driven it over here and I've taken it to the shop, so it's kind of getting dirty. We're gonna let this thing get dirty and see if it actually changes the aspect of how it drives. Does it actually tear up stuff? Does it actually do this or that? So we're gonna find out. Let's crank this thing up, and we're gonna head to the drag track. Alright guys, so we're pulling up here at the drag strip. Anyways, I want to see if it really does make a difference, but we went ahead and we didn't change. We should have changed the oil before we come out here, but I'll go ahead and change it before we do our afternoon run. We're going to do our morning run, and we'll go back, grab a customer, and we'll come back in the afternoon, or part two, and do some racing after we get finished with the customer. And we'll build our money up these next 2 days. But let's go ahead and get to it, because the more time I talk, the more time I waste, and I can make money. I want to try to get 3 races in, and I'm keeping up with the time on my camera battery. So right now we got 10 minutes in, so I'm not going to spend that much time uh, talking and doing all that. I really want to do some 1 mile racing, but we're going to stick with the half mile because we are not set up for a 1 mile race. So let's go ahead and do it. Dear Heavenly Father, we ask you to be with us today, and let us be victorious. Let our bets be victorious, because they are only to do your will. If it be your will, Lord, we ask these things in Jesus' name. Amen. Here we go. We're dropping that $1,000 down. We're getting into the races. All right, so our first. Ooh, I don't even like looking at that car. That's the 911 Carrera GT. That is the. I know we're building a car, that Paul Walker drove, but unfortunately, the car that you're seeing to the top right, it was a red one, but that was the car that they was going down the road in, and something happened, and they end up crashing, and Paul Walker passed away in this car. So I really don't like this car. I don't like it at all. It doesn't do nothing but leave a bad taste in my mouth. So we're gonna bet for the other car, even though I know that car is probably going to win. I'm just still not for it. And whenever we build this car, because I'm gonna build every car in this game, uh, we're gonna build that car in memory of actual Paul Walker, not the Eclipse. Those are happy times. So we already know this car is fixing to get it. I'm just gonna. I don't know, man. A lot of these cars, these are very close races. I wouldn't even know how to bet on these, because these cars that are going against each other they're so close to I can't decide which way to go. So it's really just going to be a gamble at here. So we're going to have faith. It don't matter how it comes out. We're going to be victorious. See right there, it's a half and half right there. So, alright, so we're going against a Hammerdale. Oh yeah, we got him. Boom! Well, we're still running consistent, guys. That 13.5 to 7, anywhere between 13.5 to 7, depending on reaction time and how you shift the gears. But still that 207. I love seeing the 208. But anyways, let's it don't matter. See. Because the way that we betted, even though we lost more than we won, we still got rid of the faster cars. And that's the way your life is. You may have to lose a little bit right now, but in the end game, you will be victorious unless you know it's your own mistake that you done. It's not God's mistake, it's your mistake that you done if it does not work out right. And every time I've learned that, every time a failure has happened in my life, it is because of my own stupidity. So, it's not the other way around. It can never be the other way around. So, let's see it. That's okay. That's alright. It's alright. Devil's working against us in our friendly wagers today. So, he doesn't want us to bless people. Oh. Car walked really hard that time. still got it though. We are still victorious. Undefeated, guys. Let's keep going. Oh, we got two. Uh-oh. We got two supernovas. Grandpa supernova. We are, and these are supercharged ones. So, obviously, I'm going to go with the higher one. I do hope that wins, because I'm going to feel played. Okay, I was supposed to say, if that didn't work, the same car, and one of them is clearly faster, this game is cheating. Alright, so we got the right lane this time. I should have let that gear go out a little bit more. 13.9. It's like it's getting slower and slower. Our reaction time's getting better and better, but the car is getting slower. So, alright, grand finale. Here it is. Let's do it. We're going against the Supernova. Everybody remembers that. Anyways, it's the Edgewood Hellcat car, so I just don't like anything with hell in it. That's just, I'm not rooting for that. We're fixing to stomp hell right now. That's what we're fixing to do with Jesus leading the way. He's fixing to watch it. The devil's fixing to lose. I'm not calling that car the devil. I'm just saying that's the way you want to look at it. Gotta get a better time. Let's do it. Oh! Look at there. We ran. It is getting slower. I ran a 13.8 that time with the same reaction time, and I was actually sifting right. So it does look like our car is getting slower. It's also having a little bit more of a problem keeping traction too. So maybe there is something that people just haven't noticed in the game. Maybe as your car gets dirty, it causes it to perform more horrible. Maybe that's the only indication of wear and tear, but it just doesn't wear out your vehicle, which I wish it did do that. I want to see some damage to parts. I want to see my tires wearing out, my oil getting darker. You know, Gran Turismo at least done that. Come on, let's see it, developers. It's not a very big update. Y'all haven't come out with a new game. Just keep making this one better and add more cars to it. You don't need a new game. This one's good enough. More content, please. Or at least modify the content you already got. You know, make it shareable to everybody. Nobody should have to pay for a damage system. That should have already been into there. Now, I understand paying for new cars or, different licensed cars that you actually want to build. And they need to be like the actual licensed car. You know, the engine should be pretty close to it. I mean, you can get on Google and look up a diagram for any manufacturer of a car motor. So, it should be easy to put into the game if you own the license for it. I'm not saying every part, but for the most part, the same thing. You know, if it's a Honda B20Z or a B18 Type R, it should look exactly like a Honda B18 Type R. And have the same components, or most of them. I'm not saying every part, because that would be a lot of content. But, you know, add modifications where you can put different ground effects, different lights. You can do different things to your vehicle as your own personal modifier. Now, yeah, you should have to pay for that, because that takes a lot of efforts to put content like that in a game. But a damage system should have been there from the word go, and it should be optional where you can turn it on or off at the fly. Like if you know that you're probably going to wreck a car because you're not used to it, it makes you respect that car more. But you still have the option to turn it off for people that are blind or children that are new to playing the game. But a damage system needs to be in here. That's part of this. That's the reason why the cars come to you, because they wear out. But yet, our cars don't wear out. Ooh, it spun all the way through second that time. no. It ain't getting any quicker. Even our quarter mile, all of our times are slowly dwindling down as we race this car. I don't know, maybe there is something, or just maybe I'm just hoping for something. I think it's going on. That's probably what it is. So, but I still don't understand why it is getting slower though. I mean, I'm shifting out at exactly the same points. You can even hear it. No, I'm gonna go. I already know. Green. Oh, come on. Really? We're going against one of them kitty cats again. I just banged it out that time. And it went slower. It's a 13.9 now. We're slowly getting down to the 14-second mark. So, alright, and let's go ahead and get our bets in. All the way, Hammerdale. Yep, got it. But I do want to say the damage system should not completely total your car. You should always be able to fix it. Ooh, really slow coming off the line. Oh, guys, we may lose this one. We got it, but just barely, and it's slowly getting slower. 13.945, and well, I had a horrible reaction time. I knew I left slow. And better be glad we was racing against a Ferrari, because if that would have been a Hammerdale or any car like that, we probably would have got defeated. But anyways, we didn't get defeated. We got it. This is our grand finale, and then after that, we are headed back to the track, and we are going against a Hammerdale this time. I gotta look that car up and see what actual car that is. Oh, no! No! Dang. Well, that's it, guys. We didn't lose to a race, but something's up with it. It's not reacting right. I did not let off of the clutch. I was holding my hand on that. It's like it come off quicker. Alright, I don't know. The car is just not running right. And I'm not faking this. This is really happening. Dang. Well, that's it. We got to pack it up and go back. We got to get our customer. So we was only able to make, well, we'll see what we got now once we get back. We got to fill up the car with E85 while we're at the track, as it's tuned for E85. We run that grain alcohol, son. No, I'm just playing. Alright, so we are up to $391,000. I mean, that's, that's still good. That's more than what we started at the beginning of the week, was $380,000. So, okay, we made some profit. We're going to go ahead and put this car back up in the lockup. I really want to clean this car. No, we're going to leave it here. I'm going to clean this car before we go, and I'm going to see if our time increases. Because we were getting all the way down. We was running 13.5s, and we were getting down to 14 seconds. So, I still love that car. I'm not an idol of that car. I love Jesus more, but that's still a beautiful car. Even though it's got a huge airplane wing on the back that I wish I could have made smaller. Guys, make the spoilers where you can adjust them to how big you want them, please. Developers. We like the game, but we want a little bit more. But modifications. But anyways, let's get our customer. Alright, so, this old little Volkswagen here, it's a Volkswagen Golf. Hi, I just got back from a business trip, and you won't guess what was waiting for me. My beautiful car. I hopped in and set off on an evening ride for the very start. Something caught my attention. The car drove better somewhat. After this lengthy introduction, I will explain. It turned out that my son had a little adventure with my car. I'm impressed by his attitude because he took matters in his own hands. I must admit that the car never drove better than after your repairs. You're a wizard. Today, I've got my son's car for you. I want to repay him for making my gym give me even more pleasure from driving it. Oh no! This is the guy that had the LS Swap BMW. He is also the one that bought the Lamborghini. Okay. So he's bringing his son's car. So apparently he got his son a little Volkswagen Golf. But please make the engine reach perfection and give it some spark. The bodywork also needs some love. Pimp this ride and add a bit more horsepower. Let the kid live a little. See you later. Oh, that is so sweet. So Daddy's gonna take care of his son's little Volkswagen Golf, even though his boy's been out playing in his LS Swap BMW. I'm pretty sure he's also driven the Lambo that we built. But this is crazy. Let's go ahead and give him a call up. This is going to be like a big old reunion out front. I'm hoping he brings his Lambo whenever he has this car towed here. But anyways, let's go out there and see what we're up against. Alright, so he bought a Volkswagen Golf. I'm pretty sure this is probably a joke for his son, but he wants to see if we can make this car fast. He wants us to really build it. Now, you see this right here. This is the same engine that's in our Eclipse, and I want to show you something. The engine only has 99 horsepower. So, but this one that we got in our Eclipse inside has 363 horsepower. It's a special edition. I knew something was up. So this thing's only got 100 horsepower. So he's literally, let's look at the work order. Let's see the specifics. We're going to have to rebuild the motor. How much horsepower does he want us to increase? Only by 15%. Hey, this is a joke. Only 15%? Dad, come on. That's horrible. He ain't gonna drive this car. I don't know. He may. Alright, so we are gonna be pulling the engine. We're completely, he said to pimp his ride or whatever. We're gonna build it in the glory of Jesus, and we're fixing to take this car to a different levels. I don't care about that 10 or at least 10 or 15%. There's going to be a lot more than 15%, I'll tell you that. I'm going to see if we can't get away with swapping an engine in this car. We're going to put a turbocharged K-Series in this car. I hope it will let me do it. If not, then we'll just save the engine for later. But let's go ahead and get it washed up. That is crazy. I didn't think that he would be coming back already. So it looks like he's pulling a prank on his son. He's buying, but these were really dependable cars. I mean, they were good cars. The Volkswagen Golf, they just wasn't very fast. It reminds me of like a Ford Pinto or something like that. It does look like a Pinto too, but our Ford Fiesta, whatever they were called. Whatever you want to look at it as. We're going to clean it up. Look at it. It's even got a racing steering wheel on the inside. We gotta do the par. We're going to strip this car. We're going to put 2 racing seats. We're literally going to build a race Ford Fiesta or whatever this car is actually supposed to be. Let's go ahead and get it on rack 1. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and tear down the body pieces. We're going to pull everything off of here. So we can get to them seats inside. I'm going to pull the windows too. We're gonna do a complete build, even if it costs us money. We're gonna do it. We are going to completely take this car to another level. All right. I think we can fix this door. I don't know. We're gonna find out. Let's go ahead and pull. No. I want to do interior minus. All right. We ain't. Thank you. All right. Back seat. That. We are gonna put the same steering wheel. We're just gonna make sure it's a new one. We ain't gonna put some piece of junk in there. But anyways, we already know we're not diagnosing anything, so we don't have to diagnose nothing because we are actually pulling this engine out of here. This is gonna be a complete build, so no reason to diagnose nothing. We're just gonna start draining fluids and get ready to snatch this motor out. Because he said 10 to 15% on the engine. So I think if we swap the engine out of this car, we can add 10 to 15% to the engine that we swap into here. I think. I don't know. We're going to find that out. If not, then, you know, we'll save the K20 engine and put it up in our storage shed. And, you know, we'll save it for another project if we need it. Which we will. We're going to need that K-Series motor. We may need it for our own project. Oh, I forgot to do forgot to evac the brakes, because we're going to put a set of DrivenByChrist racing brakes on here, and we're going to go all the way. We're going to get the slotted and drilled. We don't have to go ceramic on here. I don't think this car is going to produce enough power where we got to worry about ceramic brakes. But let's pull this battery off. We're going to add this other one there. We're actually starting to run out of inventory and batteries, so let's go ahead and kind of restock some stuff. We know we're going to need some batteries. We'll pick up like 4 more of them. I think we got some alternators. We'll pick up 2 alternators, 2 of these alternators. We still got plenty of ABS modules and stuff like that. These are distributors. We'll just get them as we need them. Ignition coils are a pretty popular item. Let's see. We'll just get 12 of them just in case we do have a V12 to come in. These are other ignition coils. They're not really often seen. It's mainly these that we're getting. These are LS ignition coils, so we know if we get one of those engines, there's going to be 8 of them. We're just kind of stocking up on electronics. We will get we'll get 1 of each ECU. Not tunable though, but we are going to need a tunable one for that. We still got some fuse boxes and lids. Distributor. We'll just get 1 of each. Ignition cap. Oh, where's it? Yeah, we'll get 2 of them. 4-cylinder ignition. 1. Oh, Rallies is like, what in the world is going on? He's like buying 1 of everything. 4. We'll actually go through and get all the wires, because something tells me that we're gonna need this later on down the road. So we're building up our inventory and parts right now. We just went through and bought all the. We're gonna go ahead and get some more relays. We're gonna get 10 of each, because we have been using the mess out of these relays. Alright, starter, well, we got some starters in stock, but I'm just going to pick up about 2 of each. We don't use factory spark plugs. That's just a no-no. We don't do that. We only get the good stuff. So, alright, so we restocked on our electronics. Later on, we can do this with car parts, but right now, all we can really deal with is electronics. But let's go ahead. Quit kicking me off. we're going to go ahead and look up body kits for this car. So we're going to go through and buy every custom piece for this car that we can. And we're going to put it on there. We are going to need regular stuff. But this is going to handle the lights. The rest of it we should be able to fix. So let's go over here. We are going to pull out these headlights. I forgot to pull off that bumper. Alright, so we got this thing. This thing's pretty much like a go-kart, guys. It's got like 13-inch or 14-inch rims on it. So let's see if we can fix these body pieces. Oh, nope, hood's gone, but it don't matter. We got another hood, so. Got it. Got it. Got it. Got it. Jamie's coming out here to aggravate me in the garage, trying to distract me and make me destroy parts. Don't stick your tongue out at me. Alright. Anyways. Alright, so we got most of the parts fixed. Alright, so that's it. We was able to fix most of the body components, and I think what I'm going to do is kind of like a JDM import look with this car. But let's see what motor swap options we got. Let's see. Alright, so we can put the turbocharged i4 into here. So we're going to pull this car out. We're going to pull this engine out. We're going to put this up into storage. So let's get this vehicle up off the ground, get the oil changed, and we're going to drop a turbocharged K-Series motor out of a Honda into here. I wonder how much this car weighs. Let's see. Let's see what it actually weighs. So this car weighs... It only weighs 1,900 pounds. Dude, this thing is going to be ridiculous fast. It's got 13-inch tires on it, so we're going to jump up to some 15-inch with some low pros. And we're going to put a turbocharged Honda motor into it. So, I know I've never did a motor swap on here before. I was going to show y'all with this one, but since this car has got a special motor into it, is this the same motor? Let me look. I think it is the same motor. Let me put it down. I just want to see, because this car has 360 something horsepower and it's a factory motor. Yep. Well, I can't tell because this is on here. Let me see something. Yeah, it's the same motor. Yeah, that's it. It is a engine. Okay, i4 single overhead cam. i4 single overhead cam. So yeah, they're the same motor. But this one's got 360 something horsepower to start with. So guys, whenever you're going through your barnyard finds and you find these unique motors, save them. Do not get rid of them. And I think once you pull them out of the car, they lose their horsepower specs, because I was doing it on my other game and it lost power because I took it out of the car it was in. I tried to take the fast engine out of the car, and the only way it works is if it stays with the car. So we're not going to actually swap the motor. We're just going to build this to be an even better race motor. But it would be nice to pull that 360 horsepower motor, but that's okay. We're going to do an engine swap. So anyways, I just wanted to see if they were the same motors to kind of answer any questions or doubts that I may have had. Alright, so right there, we know that that is a special edition motor in that car, because this thing's only got 90 something horsepower. Alright, so we're gonna check. We ain't gonna worry about the drain plug. We're just gonna get rid of the oil and get this thing ready to go. Hold on. We gotta get the oil filter off so we don't make a big mess everywhere. Alright, there we go. Now we're done with this. Alright. Alright, so to remove this, we're gonna have to pull the down pipe. Why are you not? Oh yeah, it's that type of exhaust manifold. We're gonna go ahead and pull the tires off, because we're actually not gonna use these rims and tires. Let's see, we're going to pull the CV joint out of here. Actually, in order to pull this CV joint, you would actually have to pull the lower control arm. That way this part can move back and forth, and you would undo the stabilizer inlink. And the strut, this piece can move. It's got some bend. It can move in and out like that. So now you can undo the nut on the axle and pull this out. And we don't have to worry about the tie rod end. We're going to leave all that in there. We're just dealing with the engine right now. So, and we're going to upgrade the brakes. We'll give them that DrivenByChrist automotive racing brake package. Oops, I didn't mean to do that. Well, I guess I could have took it off because we're going to rebuild it anyway. So, alright, there we go. This is going to be a fun build. I've never even worked on this type of car. I just know what it is. And we're going to put a turbocharged, like a 300 horsepower motor in this car, and then build it for that much more power. We're going to have to run slicks on this car. I can guarantee you we're going to have to run slicks, because this is not an all-wheel drive car. Alright, so we're going to get to the transmission now. We're going to have to pull off our carrier, our half shaft, our intermediate shaft. We got to get it off. And I don't know why we can't get to the starter, but we're going to have to drop it back down. We got to remove the exhaust manifold anyway, so that way we can get this engine out. But we're going to go ahead and make some work room. Don't need it. Don't need it. Don't need it. And we're going to pull this out of the way. And now we got room to work with. We got an air box, but it's way over here on the side, so we don't necessarily need it. But I may actually have to pull that air box out of here in order to swap the motor. I'd like this air box better though, because it's got the screws and not the stupid clips on them. So we're going to leave that in there, and hopefully it will accept the new motor that we're going to put into here. But we got to get it back up in the air so we can get the transmission off. Alright. We will, yeah, we can get this around there. We can pull it out from the side. Oh, man, I forgot to pull the starter off. I'm getting overly excited about this, guys. I'm sorry I do that and I forget stuff. Because I'm actually wanting to see what this car is going to do. Because I've never done it. I've always just rebuilt what was there and modified it and made it better. But I've never just said, customers like, here, take this car, do whatever, trick it out, you know, do whatever you want to do. Now, I hope he ain't going to be picky about this. About the engine that I'm putting into here, because if he's just wanting us to put 15% on that, his son's only going to have like 150 horsepower. I mean, in a car this light, that's still going to be a pretty quick car, but we're wanting possibly stomp on that Lamborghini in a quarter of a mile, or at least give that LS swap BMW a run for its money, and we're going to help this kid get there. We're gonna do it. Alright, let's get this off of here. Because we are gonna put a racing transmission. We're gonna go ahead and pull the clutch now. Because we are gonna need a performance clutch with what we are fixing to do to this car. Alright, there we go. And we got one more thing to disconnect, and that is our fuel line. And your heater core hoses running into your dashboard. If this car even had a heater, don't know. But I know the fuel line's connected to it. Alright, so we got everything disconnected. Let's go ahead and go get our motor hoist, and all we should have to do is chain it up and unhook it from the motor mounts, and we'll have it out of here. Alright, so alright guys, we're gonna go ahead and pull this engine. I'll see y'all then. Alright, so we got the engine out of the car. We're going to go ahead and roll it over here and put it on our engine stand. Actually, we're not. We're going to do something different. We're gonna go into our lockup. Let's get both these doors open, and we're gonna add this engine into our warehouse. So we got the engine just in case he does want to keep that motor in there if the K Series Honda motor is going to be too fast. Now, we know it said DOHC turbo. That's the engine swaps that are available for this car. Yeah, i4 dual overhead cam turbo. Alright, so that's what we're going to get. So how you do an engine swap is you come over here to this engine stand and you go create new engine. You look for i4 dual overhead cam turbo, and that's it right there. It's like a B18. It's not the K series, not the BFM motors. That's the K series motors, which they're a little bit further over. Where is it? Where is the BFM turbo? I don't actually see it. Where is that engine? Yeah, dual overhead cam BFM. There's supposed to be a BFM turbo, and I don't see it. 279. Maybe that is it. BFM. It is a i4 dual overhead cam, but this one said a dual overhead cam turbocharged. So that's going to be our Honda B Series motor. So we're going to put a Type R motor into this car, which is about right, or a turbocharged GSR. They're kind of undershooting the horsepower on these motors. I mean, only 180 horsepower on a turbocharged motor? That thing, my B18 produces 230 wheel horsepower, and it don't even have a turbo on it. But anyways, this is how you do it. You click the i4 dual overhead cam turbo. That gives you the blueprints. Now you see how the engine pops up? Now, we do not have a block. We do not have anything for this car. I don't think. You don't have necessary engine parts. So, what we're going to do, we're going to click on it, and we are part mount. So right there, it shows you the block. You can't put the block on there, so we're going to have to order this block. So let's go ahead and get into the O'Reilly's. We are going to literally buy every part for this car and build this engine from ground up. So O'Reilly's is fixing to be making a lot of trips to DrivenByChrist Automotive. So let's go ahead and get into it. We're going to need a block. We're going to go ahead and clear our list right now. Back out, retag the item. And we need an engine block. So it's going to be $1,600 for this block, which is about right. That's about how much you would pay for a B Series Honda, just the block alone. And this is going to be a closed deck race block. So this is not your average block. $1,600. We got that on the way. We've already got some pistons. We are going to need the crankshaft for this engine. We got some main bearings. I'm just trying to think of all the stuff that we got. We'll need an oil pan. So let's go ahead and clear everything out of our search bar so we can bring up. We're gonna go to the engine components, and let's go through there. We need the i4. We're going to need some cam gears. We know we're going to need 2 cam gears, which I think we already got. But just in case we don't, we're going to go ahead and order them. We know we got a tensioner. We just got to keep our eye out for i4 dual overhead cam turbo. Let's see. SR20... I4 single overhead cam, I4 single overhead cam C, or it just may be a camshaft. That may be what it is. Let's see if I can find the I4 dual overhead cam. Camshaft B. There's so many TAEs, and we're just gonna have to wait so we can get the code for that. But anyways, they got here with our block, so we're gonna go ahead and pick this block up and set it on the engine stand. Alright, so now that we got that, we're going to go ahead and flip it over. We're going to build the bottom end. We already know that we got an alternator. We know that we got the oil pan. Let's go ahead and tag this crankshaft. And I got cats whining outside my door. This is going to be a Pro Balanced. We're going to go with a import direct racing crankshaft. So this is from Honda's race division. We're directly getting it from them. So O'Reilly's does sell import direct parts, which are imported parts from the manufacturer. They are just up underneath a different name. You know how you can buy the off-brand Great Value, but it's still the same thing as the name brand? Okay, that's basically what these parts are, is what import direct is. They're the same part, they're just built cheaper because you're not paying for that name brand part. So, anyways, let's go ahead and put our oil filter on because we know we got that. We'll put on our alternator. Actually, no, we're already messing up. We're going to take that off of there because we're building this engine to be like just before I do that, actually, you know what? I'm not gonna throw a ton of. We're just gonna build this engine factory, and we're gonna swap it into the car. That's gonna double our horsepower, and then if it says no, we still need 15 added percent, then we'll just add it to it. I'm pretty sure upgrading the turbo and the exhaust will give this engine, but I don't know if it's referring to the old engine or the new engine. I guess before we can do that, we can actually see if it'll let us swap this engine in the car the way that it is. Uh, let's take this oil filter back off again. That way we don't tear up nothing. We are going to we're gonna unmount this motor, which you got to click on the engine stand to do this. So we're gonna take this engine off because this is, even though it's just a block, it's still considered as a motor. It's a new blueprint. So we're gonna take it off, and we're just gonna see if we can put that block into here if it accepts it. Install. You have to own the car to swap the engine. So I'm glad we did not do that. Alright, so unfortunately, guys, the dad is going to play a cruel joke. I didn't call him a jerk. I meant to say joke. A cruel joke. I actually got a ulcer on my tongue right now, and it's causing me to talk weird. But Daddy's being cruel. He's not going to let us put a turbocharged Honda motor inside this vehicle because, one, I don't think he don't want his son stomping that BMW or that LS swap BMW, which I know would have happened if we would have built that car. So anyways, we're gonna go ahead and put this engine into our storage. We're gonna switch over to the warehouse. We're gonna pick up the original motor back out of there, and we're gonna go put it back in the car, because if all they want is 10 to 15 horsepower, we don't even have to get into this engine. So, alright, we're going to pull that off of there, and we are going to go ahead and install it back into the car. Alright, yeah, the original motor. Alright, so now we got to see, it's going to be a little bit of a pain, because now we got to put all this stuff back onto here so we can diagnose this engine. But I just wanted to see if we could swap it. So we can't swap the motor. So this is very cruel. I don't even think this is even funny now. Like, I actually feel kind of bad for the boy. I see why he took his dad's LS car out and went out there and tore it up. Like, dude, you just bought a Lamborghini for $285,000, and your son spent more than probably what this car was worth fixing your car because he tore it up, and you're going to play a cruel joke on him as to giving him a Ford Fiesta with only 10 to 15 horsepower. This would have been so much better if we could have swapped the turbocharged Honda motor into here and really gave his son a car that just would have humbled people. But nope, Daddy's gonna be cruel. So I don't stand for this. Uh, you know, we've already wasted. My battery's almost dead. So there is gonna be a part two to this. Um, yeah, not really happy with this build. It just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I thought we was fixing to be able to swap the engine. He said to pimp the ride, so I figured, but he don't want to spend that type of pocketbook, but he wants to be cruel and unusual to his son. But that's okay. His son's gonna remember that later on. And then again, his son may, you know, love this car for some reason. I don't know. I'm just gonna do what the customer asked me to do, and that's just the point of business. We all have our opinions. I'm keeping my opinion to myself. I'm not going to tell him that. But if he wants 10% on a, if he only just wants to give his son 115 horsepower, if that, then that's kind of poo-poo-ish. But whatever, guys. So while I'm off camera, I'm going to go ahead and put everything back on the engine the way it was, and then we will go ahead and diagnose it and give him the 15 horsepower that he's asking for. And we are gonna make the car look good. We're not gonna fall short of the glory of God for that. So, but anyways, this is going to be it for part one. Me and Jamie are going to go grab some lunch real quick, and I will be back with y'all guys here shortly. Anyways, y'all have a blessed day and a blessed lunch. We'll catch y'all later. Bye.